Warming, melting glaciers, rising sea levels. Climate change is one of the biggest concerns worldwide. Institute of Directors understands the urgency of this situation and brought together thinkers, policymakers and corporate honchos from around the world at the 20th edition of the World Congress on Environment Management and Climate Change.
There is no option. When climate change happens, the vulnerable suffer. So the country has no option. We just have to move ahead and move ahead with speed and a fixed direction.
We strongly feel that multilateral discipline is a must, and no country which does not believe in multilateral, it is very important to come down strongly on it, because it is the way forward for, there are no geographical boundaries in climate and environment.
Global warming and climate change and the economic sustenance are interconnected. India's 7 to 8% growth and $5 trillion economy, with all the advantage which we aspire for by 2025, is going to get challenged if we are not changing the energy mix and reduce the carbon emission. Then only economic sustainability is possible. That is the need of the hour. We need to take initiatives. Individual institutions have to come together as a part of environment, social governance to contribute more.
We have a tendency to see conferences that focus on energy or conferences that work on in the environment. But here today we brought together a good mix of that, and with the private sector focus, I think we can talk about some real results.
With an aim to find sustainable solutions, the theme for the 20th edition was Transformational Leadership for Promoting Climate-Resilient Economic Growth.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's a great pleasure for me, on behalf of the Institute of Directors, to welcome you all for this 20th World Congress on Environment Management. The 20th century created a host of environment problems. It is for the 21st century now to find solutions and to ensure that we avoid raising another or few other problems or add on other problems into this. India is home to 17% of the world's population and 2.4% of its land mass, only 4% of the world's water resources. So we have to manage a number of resources, natural resources, for our own world. As per the World Bank report, environmental degradation costs India 80 billion rupees a year, that is 6% of its GDP. This Congress aims to sneak into the needs of the corporate leadership and strategy for green economy and sustainable development. It's an opportunity to discuss how boards might best handle the environmental concerns, as they cannot be viewed in isolation. I'm sure these rich deliberations of green global thinkers here will throw up many fresh market-driven solutions. Thank you very much.
As you all know, climate change is a reality, and manifestation of its impact is well known in terms of extreme and unpredictable weather conditions. And as per Climate Risk Index 2017, India is the fourth worst affected country due to extreme weather conditions, with drought and heat wave on one hand and spurt of heavy rains leading to flash floods, especially in urban areas. Climate change has environmental, social, and economic repercussions. Its impact is likely to be more pronounced in terms of reduction in agriculture productivity, taking a toll on human health, and human displacement from coastal areas, which may get affected due to rising sea levels, and from flood-prone areas. Finally, you would appreciate that disaster risk management is a key enabler of development. Identifying and reducing risks associated with climate-related hazards can help to protect people, their livelihoods, and assets, thereby promoting achievement of sustainable development goals. To conclude, I urge you to redefine your corporate strategy to support your business interests with disaster risk reduction and climate change adaptation initiatives. Thank you, and Jai Hind.
Finland is highly committed to the Paris Agreement and working towards UN Sustainable Development Goals, and so is India. Commitment needs action. We were very pleased to see India establishing the International Solar Alliance earlier this year. We also think that we need to decouple economic growth and climate. As per International Environmental Index, Finland is one of the greenest countries in the world, and I don't only refer to the forest covering 80% of the surface. But every time when Finland, for instance, is ranked to be high on something, I get worried, because then the real work begins. To stay high on the top, it means that you work very hard to keep up with your commitments. But while getting to the top, we have put a lot of effort into it. There are examples of intelligent grids, hybrid solutions for energy, mobility as a service. There's a solution how to turn instead of burning your rice paddy, you can turn that to fiber. And from that fiber, you can make clothing. And thus, you will save energy because you don't have to sort of water the cotton anymore. So, I mean, there are endless solutions, endless ideas. We just have to get together and put them into practice.
Why should we worry about climate change? When I was just a young teenager in 1985, scientists discovered a hole in the ozone layer above Antarctica. That ozone hole grew and now extends for periods of the year over New Zealand. It may seem odd, but a 30-degree day in New Zealand can sometimes feel as hot as 40 or 45 degrees in New Delhi, with that scorching sun beating down through clear blue skies. New Zealand is using economic modelling to help us determine which path to take in trying to meet our emissions targets. This modelling suggests that our economy and household incomes will continue to grow under a number of different scenarios while we meet our targets, but not as quickly as they might have otherwise. Annual growth could slow by about 0.2%. Now that doesn't sound too significant when you've got an economic growth rate of 7% like India's, but when your economy like ours tends to grow between 1.7 and 4% annually, it is much more significant. We're going to need a lot of innovation and to plant a lot of trees.
If you look at the different roles that we all play, I mean, the government has a huge role to play, and government is trying its best, whatever can be done for the MSMEs. The non-government organizations also do play a huge role in making people and the entire ecosystem aware about the needs to really work in that regard. But I think also there is a huge role to be played by the large industry, not just the government and others, but the large industry also in their boards. I would request that if we can, like every board or every large industry can actually give this handholding support to the MSMEs who are supplying to them, I mean, anyway, who are connected with them. I think that will be of great help to them. I just would end my talk by just telling you one thing, which is an important scheme, which has been, Honorable Prime Minister has been talking about that, which is called Z. And I'm sure you must have heard about it, you must be knowing about it, which is called zero defect and zero effect. That Indian industries, and I'm talking about especially the MSMEs, should, and they are adopting Z, so that there is zero defect in the manufacturing, whatever they manufacture, or the service sector. But at the same time, there should be zero effect on the environment. So it is zero defect and zero effect. So Z is a big scheme, is an important breakthrough, an important step that perhaps not just the MSMEs should take up, but also the large industries, I mean your boards. If you can just discuss about that in your board, and obviously people are becoming more and more conscious about their roles and responsibilities towards the climate change and towards environmental protection and all that. But at the same time, you can also give that handholding support to the MSMEs, and just sheer numbers. If they really take it up and they become environmentally conscious and they contribute to this, that's going to be a big difference. Thank you very much. Thank you.
the initiative improves awareness of every single citizen, every single industry, every single policymaker, and as a whole the result will be an improvement of the best conditions and the best options to manage properly every type of resources. It's a huge potential.
In the business community, there are huge potential, huge business opportunities for businesses to transform their business processes, products, supply chains, to transform that and to reduce global greenhouse gas emissions through their innovations, and that is what we have talked about. And in order to also maintain that innovation, to be sustainable.
Awareness is very important to make the environment better, because people's intention is a basic power of making environment better.
India believes in life after death as a country, and we believe that our karmas today will fan out our future tomorrow. So my belief is, if we do not act on the sustainability and recycling of all these parts today, we will be looking at a bleak future in sustainability.
The event also saw the release of the convention souvenir and the release of the Winner's Digest, a book on the successful initiatives of climate change warriors.
It's a very important platform to exchange ideas, to look at how the government is going forward in its mission, and how can the industry and the business can also supplement government's effort, because ultimately it's, the planet and the sustainability is not just a preserve of the government, everybody here has to contribute.
We have a huge air pollution problem. A large part of that problem is because of energy use. If we are able to solve that, we solve our air pollution problem, we also reduce our climate change problems. In other words, bringing them all on the same platform helps us find solutions that have multiple benefits, and users like you and me are far more interested in finding solutions than if it was only climate change.
I commend the initiative of the Institute of Directors that they are bringing this awareness, they are sensitizing the boards that it is they who have to provide leadership, and then corporates will rise to the challenge.
I must say that this is one of the most well-attended events and the most well thought through events, and including very energetic and involved participants.
Winners of the Golden Peacock Award after the break. IOD's 20th World Congress on Environment Management and Climate Change saw eminent speakers talk about pertinent issues such as sustainability, energy security, governance strategies and policies that will help combat climate change.
The topic is extremely important in today's context, because I think we cannot have development without really taking care of the environment.
The entire community of industry, of brands, of manufacturers to come together under one platform and deliberate on something that's as important as this is a very, very welcome initiative.
More focus is given on environment, it helps everybody. Awareness, it creates awareness, it can make government to, take a step forward, make a positive policies. This is an excellent platform. I think they should be continued with much, bigger and larger scale across the world.
The Institute of Directors applauded the efforts of the companies and organizations who are promoting climate-resilient economic growth with the Golden Peacock Awards. The Golden Peacock Award winner is PI Industries Panoli. The next winner is Oil and Natural Gas Corporation Hazira Plant. The next award goes to Mahindra & Mahindra, Mahindra Research Valley, Chengalpattu. The next champion is Indian Railways Organisation for Alternative Fuels, Delhi. The next winner is Oil India, Duliajan. The next award winner is Tata Motors, Pantnagar. The next front-runner is Greenco Budhil Hydropower, Jammu. And last but not the least, our last winner is RSWM Khadigram.
Whenever you do some hard work, some excellent work for sustainability and environmental good work, so we feel overwhelmed by getting this type of award.
So it's a significant recognition, and we sincerely appreciate IOD for recognizing our catalytic hydrothermal liquefaction technology.
We are trying to bring in a culture change in the Indian ecosystem to make boards more aware of sustainability as a part of business strategy. Right? Not that sustainability has to be done because of regulation or because of other factors. It has to be ingrained in the strategy of the business and to move forward with that as the core of your business.
Well, if you look at the very high level audience that is here today, those are CEOs of major organizations, of different industries. And if you look at the issue of AMR, it will be an intersectoral approach that we need to tackle the different drivers of AMR. So to have here in the room different organizations, NGOs, government officials, also board members of many organizations, is a key place to address this very important topic and all the other important topics that were addressed today.
I think IOD is doing a very important role in connecting experts, policymakers, academicians and common man on a common platform with the problems which we are facing now and which we will be facing in future.
Disease at epidemic levels will arise and is already arising out of a poor environment, poor sanitation, poor cleanliness, which is the bane of our times. I think we are sitting on a time bomb of garbage and we need to address it scientifically.
Honourable Member of Parliament Meenakshi Lekhi was present for the felicitation of the Distinguished Fellowship 2018.
By all our actions, we are actually not only polluting the earth but making it sterile. I don't think anyone is thinking towards maintaining the fertility of the soil. And plastic is the biggest danger we all are faced with. It doesn't not only kills the cows and the whales, but it's killing us. It's getting into our system. Man or human being is the only animal which is self-destructing his or on her empire. We are responsible, and that sustainability is something which is getting killed on daily basis by increase in population. So whenever we are discussing sustainability, I think sustainability needs to have an element of population, because there has to be a balance.
Here's a sneak peek into the felicitation. And the first felicitation goes to Mrs. Rajashri Birla, Chairperson, Aditya Birla Centre for Community Initiatives and Rural Development, Aditya Birla Group.
I'm very honoured to receive this award, and I've been associated with this award since last 10-12 years, and they are very selective. They have a very good jury meet, and it's very encouraging to get an award from them.
The next felicitation goes to Dr. Anup Kumar Mittal, Chairman and MD, NBCC India.
When country is growing and particularly infrastructure is growing,
and sustainable development with considering green and climate change. We have to see all this, and if IOD is a great platform, if they have chosen this subject, definitely it will help a lot of people, all stakeholders, not only companies who is doing work, at large to society.
And the last felicitation of the IOD Distinguished Fellowship 2018 goes to K.S. Popley, Chairman and MD, Indian Renewable Energy Development Agency.
It is creating awareness among the people. It is generating new ideas. People are able to know what is happening around, and because there are a lot of apprehensions, there are a lot of misgivings that nothing is happening on these, but a lot of things are happening. Our country is such a large country, and it is difficult sometimes to know what is being done in other part of the country. So these platforms are good, and I think the standard of the conference was really very good.